sponsor, Alpine Air.
All right, here we go. The last show of the year. It is the 29th day of December, 2023. I am Dan Kuntz. It's Friday. We're off Monday. We'll be back at it on Tuesday, January 2nd. Fridays, we promise you 5-star shows. You know that by now. If you're a regular viewer of this program, it's a 5-star show for Friday, or double your television viewing pleasure back. But today, we're in such a good mood, heading into another 3-day weekend. I'm going to take the unprecedented step. I'm promising you a 6-star show. We've never done one. Quite frankly, even 5-star shows are pretty rare, but 6-star show today. 36 degrees, more clouds, weather again, just kind of there. Mother Nature's kind of doing whatever, you know. There's a big ridge of high pressure. There's low pressure systems out there. If you watch the news with Grant, he's our weather expert. There's systems out there over the Pacific Ocean about 500 miles away out in the ocean. But there's a big ridge of high pressure, and it comes right to the state, and then boom, it hits this big dome, and it goes north and south, and we're just stuck with clouds and fog and a couple of weak disturbances over the weekend. We have all of the weather that you need to ring in the new year. A lot of news again to pass your way, a lot of sports, as you can tell by my shirt, getting ready for Monday night and the Sugar Bowl. The Huskies, first Pac-12 team ever to play in the Sugar Bowl. They'll take on the Texas Longhorns in the college football national semifinal. We'll preview that, preview the Seahawks. Wild won last night. Good for them. And we got lots going on. Speaking of sports, I know it's kind of funny. Here we are in December, late December, but I had a chance to catch up with Joel Norman, Stormin' Joel Norman. He was in town over the holidays, and he hooked up with me, and we went out to Paul Thomas Senior Field to talk Apple Sox baseball. I like talking baseball in the dead of winter. Keeps my morale up. And an opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty. It's about kids. It's kids these days. Mike's, you know, the younger generation. Their long hair and their rock and roll music. Mike has an opinion on that. 2 minutes after the hour, and here we go with our tour around the valley. I'm not sure the cameras that we're going to use today, so I'm told in my earpiece that we're looking at Milwaukee. Milwaukee, I don't know. It looks more like the Wenatchee Valley to me. Sunrise this morning, just like it was yesterday and the day before and the day before, and will be tomorrow, 7:48. Sunset this afternoon, 4:18. Again, 8 hours and 29 minutes of daylight, or 8 hours and 30 minutes of daylight. But we do have 38 more seconds of daylight today. Today will be 38 seconds longer daylight-wise than yesterday. So take the victories when you can get it. Let's do camera 2. Up to Cougar Ridge we go. Hello, Cougar Ridge. Hello, Stamilt. Hello, Bluebird. Hello, Sleepy Hollow. Hello, Omi Gardens. And the roundabout. Hello from high atop Cougar Ridge, looking over to the Wenatchee Valley in the old station area. Billy Goat looks pretty good this morning. It looks something like that. You can see that little sliver of sun way off in the distance, starting to climb up. You can see all of Pateros and pretty much all of Brewster. Of course, Bridgeport is tucked on the other side of the bar. You can't quite see that. So good morning to our friends up in Okanagan County. Pleasure to see you. And a little bit farther south to the top of McNeil Canyon. And that camera has so much information in it that you can actually see Lake Chelan, a good portion of it. Of Lake Chelan, that's the airport off to the right there, and a couple of clouds to the north of us. Of course, they have their big winter festival coming up in a couple of weeks in Lake Chelan. The fun never stops up at Lake Chelan. Climate Prediction Center yesterday afternoon sent us another version of the long-term outlook. This is for January 5th through the 11th of next year, the 8 to 14-day outlook. And it looks like now, if this pans out, and they're pretty good at this, we're going to be maybe a little below normal or normal temperatures. Above normal precipitation is favored for that period of time. So temperatures right around normal, maybe a little bit below normal, and precipitation a little bit above normal. We shall see, but it's definitely going to be mild. We hit 39 yesterday. Our normal high is 32. Our overnight low on Thursday was 34, so our overnight low was 2 degrees warmer than what our afternoon high normally is. From the National Weather Service, that way if you don't like the weather, you can blame the government. Mostly cloudy today, just another quiet gray day here in the big city, high of 42, and from all of our viewing area really. Mostly cloudy tonight, 34 for the overnight low. Mostly cloudy on Saturday, high of 42, slightest chance of rain. Weak system, slides in, slides out. Clouds stick around on Saturday night. Sunday for the last day of the year, partly sunny. High of 42, again about 10 degrees above normal, 34 for the overnight low on Sunday night. Happy New Year on Monday with mostly cloudy skies and a high of 41. And we go back to work on Tuesday with mostly cloudy skies and a high of 40. Chance of rain, maybe mixed with some light snow. Snow level on Wednesday is going to be at 1,900 feet, but there's also very little precipitation in the forecast. This pattern runs unabated right into the new year. And that is the weather. It's 6 minutes after the hour. Grab your coffee, and when we come back, we'll give you the information you need on this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
At Confluence Health, our mission is clear: to provide exceptional care for our community. We believe in healthcare that's personal and local because we're just like you, members of this great community.
We are Confluence.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
We are Confluence.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous farmers market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here. Oh. I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Once again, covered with clouds, 36 degrees, lower 40s today, lower 40s on Saturday, lower 40s on Sunday, lower 40s on, you get the idea. A couple of sun breaks here and there outside of that. Just mild and gray. It's 8 minutes after the hour. A pedestrian attempting to cross State Highway 17 near the Grant County International Airport. She was attempting to cross the highway. She was struck and killed last night. And two Grant County Sheriff Patrol cars collided with each other while responding to that accident. The Washington State Patrol reports that about 5:40 last night, 51-year-old Paulina Alvarez of Soap Lake was crossing the highway when she was struck by a southbound 2006 Toyota Avalon being driven by 28-year-old Brandon A. Bastian of Moses Lake. Alvarez pronounced dead at the scene. Bastian was uninjured and does not face charges. Two Grant County patrol units that were responding to the incident collided at the intersection of the highway and North Lake Road. That's about 3 miles north of the fatal accident. One deputy was transported to Samaritan Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A two-car collision on Highway 2 yesterday morning in Dryden sent both drivers to the hospital, also totaled both vehicles, according to the Washington State Patrol. 95-year-old John L. Guthrie of Dryden was driving a 2018 Ram 1500 pickup eastbound on the highway when he attempted to turn left off the highway and onto Alice Avenue, where he was struck by a westbound 2012 Honda CR-V being driven by 67-year-old Eugene W. Royer of Leavenworth. Guthrie was transported to Confluence Health. Royer taken to Cascade Medical Center, both with undisclosed injuries. Guthrie does face charges of failing to yield. Authorities have named the 4 officers who fired their weapons a couple of weeks ago on the Eastmont Avenue standoff. You remember this, back on December 17th, the suspect was wounded and is still hospitalized. Troy McMaster, who allegedly rammed the Wenatchee VA Medical Center with his vehicle and fired gunshots into the empty building. Again, he still is under medical care. 3 Chelan County Sheriff's deputies and 1 Wenatchee Police Department officer fired their weapons after McMaster's pickup was stopped on the Eastmont Avenue extension. They are Sheriff Sergeants Adam Musgrove and Brian Lewis, Deputy Andrew Tilton, and Wenatchee Police Officer Eric Magnuson. All 4 are on administrative leave while the use of special force is being reviewed by the North Central Washington Special Investigation Unit. McMaster was arrested on suspicion of assault and related offenses, but he has yet to be criminally charged. Wenatchee City Council member Mike Poyer is now former Wenatchee City Council member Mike Poyer. He was sworn in yesterday at a special ceremony at Wenatchee City Hall at noon. Poyer, of course, was elected to succeed Frank Kuntz, who served as mayor for 12 years.
I wake up every day and realize it's not about me, it's about my community. And as long as I do that every day, then I know I'll be supported by everybody here and the 35,000 people that live here in the city of Wenatchee. We all here have a responsibility, and it's not taken lightly. And it's important to, Councilmember Bailey, it's important. It's important to know that the past is the past, and now we need to continue our future, to continue what this great city and this great, what we're all about. So thank you for your time, and appreciate all you guys' support throughout this, and I need leaders to continue for the next 4 years as I go through this journey with you. Thank you.
Okay, if you could raise your right hand. I, Mike Poyer.
I, Mike Poyer.
Do hereby solemnly swear or affirm. Do hereby
solemnly swear
or affirm
that
I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of Washington.
And the Constitution of the State of Washington.
And will faithfully.
And impartially. Perform the duties.
Of the office of City of Wenatchee Mayor.
Of the office of the City of Wenatchee Mayor.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mayor Poyer says he's eager to get started, and there are a couple of items on the city's to-do list that he wants to get right after.
You're officially sworn in. What thoughts and feelings are you experiencing right now?
This was an emotional day, but since after the election, literally the day after, Mayor Kuntz and the staff got me in office, and that was good because I've been meeting every day with department heads, learning, getting information, and actually met with senators and representatives for our state, and it's been exciting for us. So yeah, you have to have everything in place, and so I really feel, truthfully, I worked Thanksgiving Day here, and but it was the right thing to do if I commit to it, and that's what's nice about having a supportive family. I have 3 adult children, and they have their lives, and it's allowed me the freedom to know that I'm going to spend this time. And when I truly mean, I get up every day and say, this is about our community, this is about you, this is not about me. If I do that every single day, then I'm going to be a good leader. And I'm going to look for the community to be leaders too. So it's a very emotional day, it's a great day, and I know we're in a great spot and a position to continue the good work that the city's been doing for the last 12 years.
Great. All right, my last question is, what is the first thing on your agenda? What are you excited to tackle?
One of the difficult things that we're working at is a $16 million bond for the convention center, and seeing how does that entail? Does it connect with the PAC? How are we going to get that worked out? That's a big issue. We've had a couple of meetings with the Standard & Poor's rating system, and we actually got back good ratings, so that helps us get better interest rates. And so to me, to me, I was part of saving a city already $400,000 or $500,000, and so that's a wonderful, wonderful gift. And so that's something that's there that will be going out to bonds probably in mid-January. So that's high on my list. Another thing that everybody's realizing, the Confluence Parkway, getting up to date with that, and that's a moving part. And that's something that's going to be moving for the next 4 to 5, 7 years. And that's something that we need to get everybody involved, federal and state, to realize that we all know there's cost escalations, so we can put together a great product for our city. So those are the two biggest issues that's on my plate right now.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, Casey.
It's so nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Enjoy your new position.
Thank you so much.
Also sworn in at the ceremony, returning City Council members Jose Luis Cuervas, Linda Harold, and Travis Hornby, and the new City Council member, Charlie Atkinson.
You could all raise your right hand. I state your name. Do hereby solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Washington, and will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of my office to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
And of course, with Mike Poirier being elevated to mayoralship, there is now just 6 members of the Wenatchee City Council. His position for District 2 is now open, and if you live in that district, you can apply by going to Wenatchee City Hall. Yesterday, we began a review of all the stories that made the top local news in our area, and we made it through March, and well, our very own Jefferson Robbins, our news director, picks it up with the top news stories from April, May, and June.
In April 2023, East Wenatchee's police department began settling into a new headquarters, moving out of City Hall and into a renovated space on Simon Street. Chief Rick Johnson said the $5 million purchase and renovation should help the department achieve the accredited status that it needs from the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs. Laura Jakes, a mainstay on the Wenatchee School Board for more than 20 years, announced she wouldn't seek a new term. In Olympia, a bill from State Senator Brad Hawkins passed the legislature, allowing the creation of a new regional sports complex for the Wenatchee Valley. The Chelan-Douglas Port Authority hopes to use that leverage to finance and build a sports and aquatic center in coming years. Meanwhile, 12th District State Representative Mike Steele and Jacqueline Maycumber of the 7th District took on leadership roles in the House GOP as deputy leader and floor leader, respectively. A fatal shooting just outside East Wenatchee led to a manhunt and finally an arrest at a Wenatchee Avenue motel. Elias Mora Ontiveros was killed in the gunfire. Eric Farias Reyes was charged and still faces trial for second-degree murder. Link Transit began a push to increase its crew of drivers, working to fill a shortfall of 20 operators. A fella named Axel became the luckiest dog in the Chumstick Valley. The huge Rottweiler Shepherd mix got stranded in Chumstick Creek amid freezing waters, forcing Leavenworth firefighters to improvise solutions that eventually got Axel to safety. The Wenatchee Valley YWCA and Wenatchee Valley College joined for a Stand Against Racism march, calling for justice in areas including housing, mental health, and disability. In May, a corrections deputy was attacked by 2 inmates at the Chelan County Regional Justice Center, both of whom were awaiting trial on separate murder charges. The jail officer, Jesus Oliveira, recovered from his injuries and returned to work, but later died in a motorcycle accident. Apple Blossom 2023 kicked off with Grand Marshal Colonel Sarah Babbitt of the U.S. Space Force leading the parade. An electric truck joined the fleet of vehicles at the East Wenatchee Police Department. The Ford Interceptor model was predicted to cost less than $100 a month to keep fueled up. A new Veterans Hall opened for the Wenatchee Valley. The location on Wenatchee Avenue offers outreach, advocacy programs, and just plain socialization for local veterans and their families. Former Wenatchee Police Captain Doug Jones became the new chief of Rivercom, the communications and dispatch center for emergency services throughout the valley. And an ad hoc group of nature specialists won recognition from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service for their efforts to preserve the endangered wildflower known as the Wenatchee Mountains checker mallow. It grows only in Chelan County. Jefferson Robbins, NCW Life.
Thank you, JR. And the part 3 of his year in review will air tonight during the evening news with Grant and Eric Granstrom. And that's what's making news on this Friday. And if there's something out there that warrants our attention, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com, and you can watch the news tonight on TV at 5, 6, and 10. 5, 6, and 10 over the air on television. If that doesn't work for you, our news will be up and running right around 5 o'clock on our homepage, ncwlife.com, our YouTube page, our app, and our Facebook page, too. So there you go. When we come back, we'll preview what's going to be a big weekend in sports and what happened yesterday. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Come enjoy the very best of the Chelan Valley. Combine award-winning wines, outstanding food, and music to create a memorable holiday experience. Chelan Cellars and Sorrento's Ristorante, your Tuscan paradise.
This is the time of year we celebrate family, traditions, and great food. At Abby's, our legendary pizzas are so giant that they feed up to 6 happy family members. When you need a break from cooking, think Abby's. Our place or your place. Our family is here for your family. What makes Abby's triple topper so great?
Pepperoni, Canadian bacon, ground beef.
With these premium toppings piled to the edge, it's a whole lot of pizza on sale for a very special price. And when you give the gift of Abby's, we'll give you a present too.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, located on South Wenatchee Ave, has the largest selection of spas and swim spas in town. Stay cool this summer in an artesian swim spa and use it all year long. We enjoy helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis pain. Our passion is water, so please bring us a water sample, and we will help you diagnose your pool or spa water for free. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, your pool and spa experts.
23 minutes after the hour in sports. They haven't played a football game in over a month, but they will on Monday night. Washington Huskies, Texas Longhorns, the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. Huskies are ranked number 2, Longhorns number 3. Kickoff 5:45 Monday night on ESPN. Of course, by the time that they kick off, they'll know the winner in the Rose Bowl between number 1 Michigan and number 4 Alabama. The winners of Monday's games will face off for the national championship 1 week later. Seahawks have their final home game of the regular season Sunday. Steelers are in town. Quarterback Geno Smith says the Steelers defense is stingy, and wherever TJ Watt is, they got to make sure they know where he is.
Well, starts with, TJ Watt, 17 sacks, one of the better defensive players in the league, great edge guy, a guy who he has it all. He's got the bull rush, he's got, quicks on the edge. He's really good at punching the ball out, causing havoc, getting turnovers for them, and also great at, batting balls at the line of scrimmage. So just being mindful of where he is at all times. Knowing that we have to have a plan for him and be able to make sure that he isn't impacting the game the way that he has. And then overall, a Mike Tomlin coach team, a defense that plays hard, that gives you multiple looks. They're going to go out there, they're going to fight, they're going to compete. They lead the league in turnover differential. They're plus 10 right now, and they get a lot of turnovers. And you can see they're in a lot of close games. They figure out ways to win at the end. They keep believing, they keep fighting, very similar to how we are and how we're built. So a great defense, a lot of good players on that side, some young players, but another challenge. You know, they got Highsmith on the other side, who's got about 7 sacks, but I think he's got 2 interceptions, you know, a couple forced fumbles. So a couple guys on that side we got to be very mindful of.
So the Steelers have a good defense. The Seahawks have a good defense. Leonard Williams says the key for Seahawks defense is limit the explosive plays.
We've been getting after the quarterback on third down. The secondary has been playing well. We've only given up 17 points in the last game, so that's you know, all positives. But at the same time, we look for areas to improve, and that's definitely one of them is stopping the run. That's going to allow us to be in even better situations on third down to rush the quarterback. And you know, that's definitely an area where, you know, the Steelers are going to try to attack us, and we need to step up.
Seahawks and the Steelers, Lumen Field, 1:05 kickoff. You can watch the game on Fox or not. It's a free country. Men's college basketball last night, Eastern Washington Eagles, the men's team, defended their home floor. They beat Portland State 91-57. Cedric Coward led the way with 21 points. Ethan Price had 12. The Eastern women also victorious over Portland State on the road, 68-58. Alayla Alexander for the Eagles had 21 points. Chiquita Buckley poured in 18. Eastern, by the way, is on the road at Sacramento State tomorrow at 2 o'clock on ESPN Plus, which sucks because I don't have that. Pac-12 basketball, they start league schedules. Tonight, as a matter of fact, Washington State visits Utah at 5:30 on the Pac-12 network. The Huskies are at Colorado at 6 on ESPNU. 13th ranked Gonzaga, by the way, will host San Diego State tonight at 6 on ESPN2. Eastern remains at home tomorrow with Sacramento State in town at 2 o'clock on ESPN Plus. Cougars will be in Boulder on Sunday, 11 a.m. on the Pac-12 network, and the Huskies will visit Utah at 3, also on the Pac-12 network. Seattle Kraken have one more game indoors before they play the Winter Classic outdoors at T-Mobile Park. Philadelphia comes calling tonight, 7 o'clock, Climate Pledge Arena. That'll be on Root Sports Northwest. Of course, Monday's game, nationally televised. The Kraken and the Vegas Golden Knights at noon in a baseball field on TNT. Speaking of hockey, the Wenatchee Wild bounced back from Wednesday's loss in Spokane to beat Victoria at home. 3-2 last night. Wenatchee battled back from a 1-0 deficit and then a 2-1 deficit, but they got the W. Austin Drade with the call on the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network.
Wenatchee getting the opportunities. You keep putting in the work, you know you're going to get rewarded at some point. Just the way this game tends to work. Play it in front, they get rewarded on this one. One to Cooper, dribbles it in and ties it up. It's 1-1. Can't chip over the line. Speeding into the play is Arp. Cannot line up Hodson for that check though. And Newman takes it over the line. Newman in front, great save. And a puck is in the net. The goal light was on. The hand was up for a penalty. And I think the penalty may have been on Wenatchee trying to stop up the scoring opportunity that was coming. Coming over the line is Cooper. He's got the only goal. Drop back, Sherbina! Risky scores! 6 straight games. We are tied at 2. And Sward blocks it up before it can get out of the Victoria zone. Near corner, Friesen tries to get it back out. Iso guy along the goal line. Find a way to get it to Wood. Across for Pankey. Pankey slides it toward the net. It goes right to Wood, and he puts it in. And the Wild lead at 3-2. Pasternak's out there, 2 for Victoria. They win the draw. Back to Miskey, left point, down to 2, down to 1. It's blocked wide. There's no time. And the Wenatchee Wild win this one 3-2. They hang on.
Still one more game in the year 2023 for the Wenatchee Wild, by the way. The Seattle Thunderbirds will be in town for a Sunday afternoon game, Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock at the Town Toyota Center. All right, Les Schwab Prep Girls basketball scoreboard from yesterday. A lot of teams saw a lot of action. Brewster beat Mabton in girls basketball. Lakeside at a 9 Mile Falls, got by Lake Roosevelt. Deer Park demolished Omak. Sunnyside clipped Quincy. Pateros beating Bridgeport. Central Valley beating Moses Lake. Girls, Clay Elum shut down Chelan. Kittitas clobbered Cascade. And Zilla got by Kashmir. Boys side, Brewster beating Seton Catholic in the Sun Dome. Welpenit down Manson. Natchez Valley beat Kashmir. Omak down Deer Park. Columbia Burbank over Quincy. Bridgeport Peppered Pateras, Chelan boys caught Clay Elum, and Reardon topped Soap Lake 73-68. The schedule: ladies first. Liberty Bell hosts Curlew at 1. Cashmere will take on Mabton at the Sundome at 1:30. Wenatchee is at Ridgeline at 2:30. Brewster faces Zilla in the Sundome at 4:30. Moses Lake will host Mount Spokane, and Elmira Cooley Heartline is at Waterville-Mansfield tonight at 6. 2 games on the slate tomorrow have Waterville-Mansfield at Grandview and Manson visits Royal. The boys' schedule: noon today at the Sundome. Quincy takes on Noosac Valley. Wenatchee will host Kentwood at 4. Cashmere will face Granger in the Sundome tonight at 8. And Moses Lake is on the road at Coeur d'Alene tomorrow at 4. Did you get all that? There's going to be a test later on. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this 29th day of December. It's the bottom of the hour. If you live in Mongolia, hey, it's your Independence Day. Yeah, all right. For the folks watching this show in Mongolia. Today is No Interruptions Day, and today is the legendary National Pepper Pot Day. Doing all the research on this, and I've done this obscure holiday on this date before, December 29, 1777, Continental Army, Valley Forge, cold, miserable, morale was in the toilet. George Washington, just gray and nasty and cold, and George Washington went to the head cook and said, what do you got? Let's make some food to make the guys feel better. And the cook says, we ain't got nothing. For one thing, all the local farmers in and around the Valley Forge area had sold all of their food that they weren't going to eat to the British Army, because the British money you could buy something with. American money was essentially useless, and so the local farmers said, hey, we got to eat too. They sold all their best food to the British, but the cook got together whatever he could, scraped up some peppercorn and whatever meat was laying around, or whatever vegetables had rotted, and some tripe, other ingredients, threw it in a big old pot, cooked it up, call it pepper pot soup, and it's known as the soup that won the war. After doing all that research, I also discovered that's probably a complete fabrication, probably never happened. It's a great story. For one thing, pepper pot soup came from the slaves that were imported to this country from the West Indies, and they brought their recipe with them. Still a good story, true or not. Have some pepper pot soup. And actually, Campbell's does make that, by the way. I wouldn't eat it, but they make it. 32 minutes after the hour. Today in history, we throw up the state flag, and you have to guess what state joined the Union on this day. I'll give you a quick little look-see. That, of course, is the state flag of Texas. Happy birthday to the Lone Star State. December 29th, 1845, Texas was annexed into the country and became the 28th state. Of course, Texas is second in size among all the states, only to Alaska, which is ginormously huge. It's also second in population, behind only California. Over the years, Texas has flown 6 different flags. First Spain, and then Mexico, and then they belong to the French and Texans. You don't quite see that, do you? And then their own country, the Republic of Texas, and then the United States, and then the Confederate States, and then back to the United States. They went through a lot of flags in Texas over the years. Texas has 254 counties, by far more than any other state. Texans have not elected a Democrat to statewide office in 29 years. You want to get elected to statewide office in Texas, you run as a Republican or you ain't going to make it. We all know the familiar saying, don't mess with Texas. That started out as actually an anti-littering campaign in the early 1970s, and it morphed into what it is today. This is a very sobering statistic. The rate of which Texas women die of pregnancy-related complications is 24 per 100,000. 24 per 100,000 Texas women, pregnant Texas women, die from complications for their pregnancy. That's the highest maternal mortality rate in the developed world. What's going on there? And 40% of all the executions in this country takes place in Texas. Don't mess with Texas. One of the strangest plane crashes of all time took place 51 years ago today, December 29th, 1972. Flight from LaGuardia Airport in New York City to Miami International Airport. It was in the dead of night. It was about midnight in the evening. They're getting ready to, they're in their landing pattern. The lower gear went down. The nose gear, landing gear, went down. But the little indicator light that tells the pilot and the co-pilot that the landing gear is locked and ready to go. It didn't light up. So they stayed in their holding pattern. They called the tower. We're going to check this out. They lowered and raised it a couple more times. They could hear it lock in. Light bulb didn't go off. Light, what's going on? They sent the engineer down into a little hatch, a little ladder. They sent the engineer down into a ladder, and he could actually visibly, with a flashlight, inspect the front landing gear to see if that went down. And in the meantime, the pilot and the co-pilot are troubleshooting. The plane's in autopilot. Well, the pilot nudged the yoke, hit the yoke with his knee, and that disengaged the autopilot. Only they didn't notice they had disengaged the autopilot. And the plane very slowly, imperceptibly to everybody, not only the crew, but the passengers on board had no idea. They were very, very slowly descending until they crashed into the Everglades. There were 176 people on board the plane. 101 died, 75 lived, and remarkably they lived because the plane was going so slow and crashed into a swamp that many people lived. Very, very strange. By the way, it turns out that the light bulb was just burned out. The landing gear was locked down. They just couldn't confirm it. 41 years ago today, Paul Bear Bryant coaches his very last football game, the Liberty Bowl in Memphis. The Alabama Crimson Tide defeat Illinois, and that was it for Paul Bear Bryant. At the post-game press conference, they asked Coach Bryant, what are you going to do now? You're retired? He goes, I'll probably die in a week. 4 weeks later, Paul Bryant was visiting his doctor's office for a checkup, and he died of a massive heart attack. And finally, 17 years ago today, of course, after World War II, Great Britain had no money. They had like no dough, zilch. They were bankrupt. So the United States loaned Great Britain $3.75 billion at a 2% interest rate. That's a pretty good loan. That's a pretty good rate. $3.75 billion loan, United States to Great Britain, 2% interest rate on the state. In 2006, they repaid the loan. They repaid it. With the interest, it came out to $7.5 billion. That's when they actually signed the deal. So they got it in 1945. They paid off their loan in 2006. Birthdays. We always do presidents. The 17th president of the United States, Andrew Johnson, born in the state in 1808, not, of course, considered one of the most accomplished presidents. For one thing, he was almost impeached. Well, he was impeached. He was almost thrown out of office, survived by 1 vote. Was born in abject poverty. One of those great success stories that he actually got as far as he did. As the senior senator from Tennessee, he was the only senator from the Confederate states that did not resign his seat when Tennessee seceded from the Union. Of course, as you know, he was impeached by the House of Representatives but acquitted by the Senate. Most people think that when he was sworn in as vice president in March of 1865, 1865, he may have actually been drunk. After he left the presidency, he was actually elected to the United States Senate as a senator from Tennessee, the only former president to ever serve in the Senate. Andrew Johnson, born in the state in 1808. Billy Tipton, American pianist. He ran and was the leader of the Billy Tipton Trio, jazz trio, very popular in Spokane in the 60s and 70s. Billy Tipton was born in the state in 1914. Billy Tipton was married for 30 years, had 3 adopted children. Towards the end of Billy Tipton's life in the late 1980s, he became very, very ill, but he refused to see a doctor, refused medical attention, and finally his medical situation got so dire in 1989 that one of his sons called an ambulance and said, Dad's dying, you got to get over here and help him out. And the paramedics came, and when they were treating Billy Tipton, they discovered that Billy Tipton was a woman. Mary Tyler Moore, born in the state in 1936. We lost her 6 years ago at the age of 80. The Dick Van Dyke Show and the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Still watch the Mary Tyler Moore Show on Hulu every once in a while. Pretty funny stuff. The great Mary Tyler Moore, born in the state in 1936. And Ted Danson is 76. For 11 years, he played bartender Sam Malone on Cheers. He was nominated 11 times for Best Actor in a Comedy Series, all 11 years, and he won 2 of them. Ted Danson is 76. Going to take a break. Mike McNally's got an opinion about these kids these days. And then we're talking baseball, Apple Sox baseball with Storm and Joel Norman. That's coming up thanks to Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsor here on the NCW Life Channel. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Mike McNally is next. You're watching a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
It's cold outside and time to make sure your loved ones are safe and secure at home during the cold months ahead. Aging and Adult Care has low-cost, in-home care options for seniors, adults with disabilities, and for caregivers assisting relatives or friends. Services like housekeeping, personal care, and home-delivered meals can make such a difference for you or someone you know. These services and more are available by calling Aging and Adult Care's offices at 1-800-572-4459.
Stop by the Culinary Apple and elevate your cooking experience. With high-quality cookware, bakeware, and tools, you'll find just what you need. It's not too early to start thinking about the holidays. Pre-order your Apple gift packs and custom gift boxes now.
Located in the heart of downtown Chelan, Lake Chelan Sports is your best choice for outdoor apparel. Whether you're enjoying the lake or spending time with your family or simply relaxing, we have you covered. Welcome to Lake Chelan Sports.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I just read a friend's Facebook post, and they asked if Cliff Notes were still a thing, because he mentioned them to a younger person who didn't know what he was talking about. Now, this made me think of how much other stuff I have mentioned to millennials that, to their loss, they've never heard of, like Sophia Loren, believe it or not, Aesop's Fable, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Michelangelo's Moses, his statue David, and others. Farrah Fawcett, film noir, and of course the two best car chase movies ever filmed, Bullet and The French Connection. Millennials, they miss out on all this stuff. That reminds me of when my kids were younger, and when I wanted to share a classic movie with them, they'd moan, "Oh, black and white, we don't want to watch this." Oh gosh, it's painful just thinking about all the stuff that our younger generation has missed. Man, kids these days. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Mount Stewart Physical Therapy is all new. New staff, new therapists, and a fabulous new chiropractor. That's right, you do not need to drive to Wenatchee or Kashmir for your care. Come see Dr. Zolman, DC. No referral needed for most insurances. Open your auto and work injury claims with us, or fax your post-op and Medicare therapy prescriptions to us right here in town. We offer covered pelvic floor services. We are premium health care for the Upper Valley. Improve your quality of life today. Mount Stewart Integrative Therapy and Chiropractic.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Well, looks like our surgery patient is feeling better today.
Yep, I didn't need any oxy today. I thought I'd do a little surgery on the drain.
Huh. Do you need your pain pills anymore?
No.
Well, we should get them out of the house. There are places to drop them off.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I can do that right now.
And I will look at the drain.
Prevent opioid misuse. Find safe medication return options near you at med-project.org.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
Welcome back to the program. Imagine my surprise just a couple of days ago when I got a text, Dan, I'm in town for the holidays. You want to talk a little baseball? And I said, of course, who is this? And how did you get my phone number? I'm always dodging process servers. So then I realized it was Joel Norman, and of course I said no. I'm kidding. I'd love to talk baseball. So we're here in a gloomy, wintry day here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, but anytime we have a chance to talk baseball, any kind of baseball, Apple Sox specifically, I'm all for it. Joel, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. I figured you would be someone who would not be upset talking baseball in December. Great to be here, Dan.
Quick little shop talk. When Joel's not here in the big city calling Apple Sox games in June, July, and hopefully deep into August, he's in the Midwest. You're in the Cornhusker State calling hockey for...
The Lincoln Stars of the United States Hockey League, junior hockey, similar to what the Wild play in here. So nice to be back here for Christmas and just kind of taking a little bit of a break from hockey, but getting back to that. And nice to be here for the holidays, though.
Which is more challenging from a play-by-play standpoint? I'm assuming baseball, because there's so much more dead time to fill as opposed to hockey.
You know, I think once you get down the play-by-play, the speed of hockey, getting used to that, it gets easy enough with keeping up with everything that happens. You can do that. But at this point in my career, I think more preparation goes into a baseball broadcast for that reason you talked about. There's so much time to fill there. So that's a challenge, but it's one you obviously look forward to in a lot of ways.
And of course, hockey has 2 periods where you have these pre-taped stuff, you know.
Yep.
Like, okay, well, we got 10 minutes left. I'm going to sing you a song. So I'll have to tune in. Do you stream online? Can I
yeah, we do online as well, and
Good.
it's on TV as well. So it's really nice.
Let's take a quick trip down memory lane. The 2023 season that was damn good one. Nice little run of the playoffs. Mitch had a good roster. Guys had fun. Crowds were good. It was a good year, 2023.
Really fun summer, you know, and it's one of those things, and Mitch and I were talking about this a few weeks ago, you know, you get into the off season and you start to remember little moments that kind of were footnotes as the season was happening, but you can go, you sit back one day and, oh gosh, remember that night, you know, this happened. Remember the night we had the packed house here, and it's fun to reminisce on that stuff here in the winter, as obviously a lot of us are starting to miss the warm weather as it gets a little bit colder. But, you know, a 37-17 team, second most wins in a season in Apple Sox history, really fun group. Wish we could have gone even further than we did, but there was a lot to be proud of from that team. And, you know, you're going to have years. We talked about when the season ended, Dan. I remember we said, you know, you have a 10-game improvement from the year before, but you finished a round earlier than the year before. It was a different league this year. I think it was the top-heavy teams were really, really doggone good. And somehow we ran into a team who was just ahead of us in the standings in Victoria, and you know, you tip your cap to them. They made it all the way to the championship. But really fun season, so much to be proud of. And frankly, as soon as it ended, all it did was excite us even more for 2024.
And for the uninitiated, the season ends, the players scatter to the winds. They take a couple of days off, and then the front office staff, you and Allie, the owner, Jose, and Mitch will sit down and kind of recap the season over a couple of days. You have done so, and the first thing, my guess on Jose's list of things to do was to re-up Mitch, get Mitch back on board. You're working on a year-to-year contract, and Mitch says, I'm back, and he's back.
Absolutely. I think it was pretty much a slam dunk that was going to happen. I'm really excited to have him back. He's done such an incredible job representing the Apple Sox brand, and I think it's easier when you're from the area, and you're proud of the product. You remember going to these games, and Mitch has just been such an incredible part of our team. He's been, frankly, the face of our franchise the last couple of seasons, and we're so proud to have him back, so proud to have him representing us in general. And you know, he's that kind of guy. It's like, boy, you really want to see him lift that trophy at the end of the season because he does things the right way, and I think he puts forth the product that every Apple Sox fan is proud of.
Mitch fills out the starting lineup, sets the tone, sets the idea of what Apple Sox baseball is and what it means to the Wenatchee Valley, but he can't do it all. His pitching coach is coming back. I'm sure Mitch probably had a significant role in that. Jose, I really want to have my guy back.
Absolutely. Mike Callia returning for the second straight season. I mean, our pitching staff was night and day from 2022 to 2023, and I credit Mike as a big reason for that. Obviously, I think we recruited some better arms from this past summer, but you still got to coach those guys. And Mike was a guy who was with us, start to finish, obviously every game, and just making such an impact. And I think enough can't be said about just the connection he and Mitch had. They think on the same page. They planned everything together. I mean, I remember there'd be days I'd go into the locker room, I'd get the lineup card, and I'd walk in there, and they're sitting there talking about tonight's lineup. And, hey, Joel, what's he hit against lefties again? Stuff like that. Mike is the pitching coach, but in a way, he's kind of like an associate because he's there helping Mitch with everything, and Mitch wants his output too. So I think it's a testament to their relationship and their connection that they formed. And in a way, it would be weird having another season not having Mike coming back, because I think we're starting to think of him on this coaching staff the same way we think of Mitch.
And he has to be a caretaker. He has to bring these pitchers in who are playing collegiate baseball, not ruin their arms, yet improve their ability to make it as far into the world of their baseball career as possible, and trust. That all takes into consideration, doesn't it? With the pitching coach?
Absolutely. And it's one of those things, it's such a challenge managing a pitching staff over the course of a summer because everyone has limitations. Everyone, you want to toss that ace pitcher out there every Friday night. You know, you want to get him going at least once a week, but sometimes it's good to reel back and say, hey, let's save him because if we pitch him every night from the opening night until the end of the season, we won't have him in August. And I think that's lessons you learn a little bit each year. And I think Mike has definitely said, he would say that stuff he's learned about. And like I said, it's amazing to talk about that given how good we were as a pitching staff.
And the turnover, there's always turnover.
There is turnover.
Pitchers come and go almost on a weekly basis. Yeah.
And no doubt about that. We were blessed with having a team that was largely the group we anticipated, Dan. About this time last year, the group that was signed was the group that played. All those guys pretty much played last season, and there was some turnover, but all things considered, it was pretty reasonable for the most part. So the coaching staff did such a good job, not just with the recruiting, but then keeping those guys here in Wenatchee and getting them to have that love of the town and the team.
The 2024 Apple Sox schedule is back. It's out. It's been out for a while. Before we get into some of the nitty-gritty, it's a good schedule. Just a little recap how the schedule is put together. The team owners get together. They meet with Rob, I guess, in Portland, where the league office is, and talk about how the team owners and the front office staff for the West Coast League cobble together a schedule for the individual teams and for the league as a whole.
Yeah, the West Coast League owners meet several times throughout the offseason. The general managers had a meeting as well this year. That used to be a regular occurrence, kind of got away from it with the pandemic, and our GM, Allie Shank, was actually a big part of wanting to help bring those back because she thought, it's good for the owners to meet, but it's good for us, the boots on the ground, to meet as well. So they did that this past fall and got a chance to kind of give each other their blackout dates, those being days that you could not host games at your ballpark. And Jose's actually a big part of helping to put the schedule together. I think we mentioned before, no secret with his experience at Microsoft, he's pretty good with Microsoft Excel. So putting together different types of schedules is not much of a problem for him. So he's been a huge part of helping to make those. And like you said, Dan, I love this schedule this year. I think each year the league, they learn from the things where we go, hey, wait a sec, that didn't quite work out as well. And they give you schedules that work really well. And I think we'll touch on it, but the addition of the All-Star game, that's something we've been waiting for a while. Haven't had one since 2019.
We were supposed to host it the COVID year?
2020.
And of course there was no baseball at all. And then you haven't even had an All-Star game, have you?
Haven't had one since 2019 in Bend.
Is this going to be where it's going to do?
Well,
can you say anything?
We can't confirm where it's going to be at this year, but I can tell you it won't be here, unfortunately. As much as we would love to host it, it just wasn't the right year for us in that regard. So I will say that who is going to be hosting it, tremendous host. I don't think anyone will be surprised when it's there. And myself, I'll plan to be there, frankly, because a great ballpark to watch games at and just such a fun event. I went in 2019, and I wish I had gone the year before.
Let me briefly recap. Joel knows where it's going to be at the All-Star game, but he just can't say
not yet
anything. We'll just let you go. We've always talked about this in all the years since they divvied up the new divisions. They're not in our division. Yakima, the Pippins, and the Sweets out of Walla Walla, they're not in our division. No. We should play them every year. We don't, but this year, they're back on the slate. That's really good news.
Absolutely. And you can kind of liken it to, in college sports, two rivals who aren't in the same conference. Obviously, we're going to start to see that here really soon with Washington and Washington State. But I think both, and they have agreed, they're going to keep each other on the schedule. I would like for us to get to that kind of point where we could have Walla Walla and Yakima on the schedule every year. We are the southernmost team in the North Division, which is advantageous for certain South teams when playing us, but not as fun for us when you're making, as much as we love doing it, the yearly trip to Edmonton, which is a hassle at times, of course, but it works out in the end, and we find a way, and I'm really grateful that we got Yakima and Walla Walla. Those were two teams that we went into the schedule-making process, and Allie and Jose both made a point of saying we want them on the schedule. It's a nice opportunity for our fans to travel there, for their fans to travel here, and we're fortunate we've got a home-and-home series with Yakima, and Walla Walla is coming to us as well. So really looking forward to those games.
Does it help that Walla Walla, both the Sweets and the Pippins have the same ownership group? Does that help expedite things, or does that really have nothing to do with it?
I don't know if it has as much to do with it. On one hand, you just talk to the same person saying we want to play both of your teams, but beyond that, I don't see too much.
So yeah, the season is out. Take a look at the schedule. The same kind of ticket packages that people can get together. Of course, you can buy season tickets, and that takes all the guesswork out. But you can cherry pick the 10 games that you want and get those kind of deals.
Yeah, our Flex Pack became a really popular one last year. And I really encourage that to fans. Maybe you're not sure about season tickets. Maybe you just kind of want to go to a few games when you can. Maybe you've got summer plans in there. The Flex Pack is great because you get 10 general admission tickets. You can use them for any game over the course of the season. It's just $60. So that's a value of, $6 per ticket. You're not going to find that great of a value too many places. So it's a great way to just kind of pick and choose. You could use all 10 of the tickets for one game if you want. maybe you're an individual fan. You can go to 10 games over the course of the summer. But we think they're really great for families or for people who aren't sure about their summer commitments. As always, our season tickets are available as well, the general admission, and of course the reserve seats for that we're right next to right now. Really affordable. We try to make them family friendly as possible because we want to have as many people in here as possible. We want to make it fair for maybe a family 4, 5, 6 or so to be able to come out to a game as well.
Friendly advice, fireworks night, 3rd of July this year, brought to you by the Kennedy Group. You absolutely want to get tickets in advance for that, because that's the one. This place bulges at the seams.
Yep.
I'm still happy that the fire marshal hasn't shown up and told everybody you got to get the hell out.
It was a great crowd last year too.
Yeah,
that was
huge crowd.
it's our largest crowd since 2018.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to have another one of those, and always buy those tickets online.
And I'm pretty sure the games against the Sweets and the Pippins here will be hot items as well. And who's kidding who? Now we have a rivalry with the team that knocked us out of the playoffs and went all the way to the championship.
And we're playing them for fireworks night, as if that game needed any more billing. But
exactly. Let's see. Did we get everything covered? I got my notes here. Schedule, year in review. Dan's a good-looking son of a gun.
Absolutely. A couple bullet points on that one.
Yeah, there you go. I think we got it all.
Yeah.
What else do we need to know? Applesocks.com.
Applesocks.com to get your tickets. We are open, as we mentioned. We're over at 610 North Mission Street. Always love seeing our fans stop by. Anyone who's ever curious about the product, it's one of the things we get a lot. Is, hey, what kind of players are these? And it's always, guys who are in college who are just kind of getting a break from their season but looking to play every day. I'm really looking forward to Dan. We can get into the new year here a little bit and begin talking about some of the returning players we have. I know that's the thing everyone is wondering about, and we'd love to. We know some who are signed right now. We don't want to let the bird out of the cage too early here, but really excited about those. There's going to be several really familiar faces who fans who are used to seeing from the last 2 to 3 years, and it's going to be fun to have them back.
Well, let's get together via Zoom or Skype as the winter becomes the spring, and we'll start making this our tradition as much as we possibly can. All right?
No, that'd be great, Dan. Thank you.
Little thing before we cut you loose. Walgreens has razors. You might want to look into that. No, actually,
news for the hockey season right now.
It looks good. A lot of people don't look good with facial hair. Joel is one of those. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Need a break from reality? Central Washington Water has a showroom full of possibilities. Ask about a saltwater system for a more natural approach to water care. They use less chemicals and have less maintenance. Free flow plug-and-play spas make it simple and affordable to get you soaking. At Central Washington Water, there's a hot tub for every space and every budget. Central Washington Water, your water care professionals.
Sun's been up for about 15 minutes. We had a beautiful sunrise. It was just gorgeous. Just loved it. 37 degrees here in the big city. One more look-see at, first of all, your long-term forecast from the Climate Prediction Center. This is what they think is going to happen as we go into the new year. We're going to have temperatures are going to be right around normal for the most part. It's been a very mild winter, or actually autumn for that matter. So it's going to be milder, right around normal, maybe a little bit more precipitation than we normally have for this time of year. That's the long-term forecast from the Climate Prediction Center. Again, we're leaning to about normal, maybe a little below normal temperature-wise. We're leaning above normal precipitation for our viewing area. But that's for January 5th through the 11th. Let's be a little more closer to where we are right here and now from the National Weather Service. We're doing it all over again. Clouds, high of 42, clouds 34 for Saturday. Clouds 42. Slight chance of a little bit of rain. There's a couple of weak disturbances out there, and I mean, the disturbances are strong, but by the time they get here, they're going to weaken up a little bit. Sunday, partly sunny and a high of 42 for Sunday night as you ring in the new year. Cloudy and 34 for New Year's Day proper. Lots of clouds, high of 41. This pattern is going to be unabated into the new year. And that is it for us. Have a great new year. We'll see you next year. Till then, bye-bye.
Welcome North Central Washington to another exciting episode of Network TV. I'm your host, Jenny Rojanasatian, Executive Director of NCW Tech Alliance, where we use this show to spotlight some of the innovation happening across our region, including inside of nonprofits. Today, we're going to shine a light on the heartwarming work being done by the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. In the director's chair for only a few months, Executive Director James Prumfee is already making a powerful impact at the nonprofit. We're excited to highlight Wenatchee Valley Humane Society core programs, which bring immense value to